The sun beat down on the dusty farmland as retired veteran John Walker fired up his bulldozer, ready to clear an old stretch of land he hadn't touched since returning from service. In the middle of the field stood a massive termite mound, taller than a man, like a forgotten monument frozen in time. John had seen termite mounds before, but never one this old, this solid, this strangely untouched. Before the engine could even roar to life, something went wrong. The bulldozer hadn't moved an inch when Rex suddenly snapped to attention. Ears up, teeth bared, body locked toward the towering mound. John froze. Rex was trained, disciplined, calm that he never reacted without reason. His loyal K9 growled low, then began digging furiously at the base of the mound, as if something inside was alive. "Rex!" John shouted, stepping forward. But before he could call him back, dirt flew in every direction. Rex dug faster and harder, his growls echoing across the empty field. John's heart pounded with confusion until he stepped closer and something cold crawled up his spine. The mound wasn't just old, it was untouched for decades. When the bulldozer finally tore into the hardened earth, the ground revealed something no one had seen in 50 years. Something Rex had sensed long before John ever did, because it was connected to a secret buried deep in the land. A secret tied to John's father, and a mission from 50 years ago that was never meant to be found. Before we start, make sure to hit like, share, and subscribe. And really, I'm curious, where are you watching from? Drop your country name in the comments. I love seeing how far our stories travel. The morning sun stretched over the endless farmland as retired veteran John Walker wiped the sweat from his brow and stepped onto the dry soil. It had been years since he touched this far side of his property, years of avoiding the memories buried deeper than any root here. Today was supposed to be simple: clear the land, expand the grazing area, move on with life. But before John could start the bulldozer, his K9 companion Rex stopped dead in his tracks. The dog's fur bristled. His ears shot upright. His tail stiffened like a warning flag. John followed Rex's gaze and frowned at a giant termite mound, taller than a grown man, towered in the middle of an otherwise empty field. He'd seen plenty of mounds in his days, but never one this size, this solid, this ancient. Its surface was cracked but stabilized, like it had been untouched for decades. Maybe longer. Rex growled suddenly, circling it with low, anxious whines. Then he began digging, fast, desperate, throwing sprays of dirt behind him. John blinked. Rex was trained, disciplined. He never acted without reason. "Easy, boy," John said, stepping closer. But Rex barked sharply, warning him back. Something inside that mound had the dog terrified, or trying to protect it. John climbed into the bulldozer. Uneasy. One push would bring the entire mound crashing down, and whatever had been hidden for 50 years would finally be exposed. The bulldozer roared to life, rattling the quiet farmland. John eased the blade forward, hesitating only for a heartbeat. Rex stood several feet away, barking in frantic bursts, as if begging him to stop. But the mound had to come down. With a heavy push, the ancient tower of dirt cracked open, splitting with a deep, hollow groan. Chunks fell in slow motion, revealing darker soil beneath. And something else, metal that a faint glimmer caught John's eye as the dust settled. Rex lunged forward, digging furiously at the exposed earth. John jumped off the bulldozer and hurried to his side. "What is it, boy?" he whispered to Rex's paws scraped against something hard. Then, with a sharp yank, he uncovered the corner of a rusted military storage box, half buried, sealed shut by time and dirt. John froze. His entire body went cold. He recognized that model, same type used in his father's era. More than 50 years ago. Rex stepped back, tail low, ears pinned, whining softly as if sensing the weight of what they'd found. John brushed the dirt away with trembling hands. The box was dented, scratched, but unmistakably intentional. Someone hid it here. Someone wanted it buried. Heart pounding, John lifted it carefully. He didn't know it yet. But this discovery was about to rewrite everything he thought he knew about his father. John carried the rusted box into his workshop, the metal cold and heavy in his hands. Rex stayed glued to his side, whining softly, pacing with uneasy steps. Dust fell from the hinges as John set the box on the table. For a long moment, he simply stared at it, Its faded military markings, the dented corners, the initials barely visible beneath the rust. JDH, not his father's initials, but someone from his father's unit. With a deep breath, John pried the lid open. Inside lay a stack of weathered letters tied with fraying twine, a broken dog tag, and black and white photographs of soldiers standing in front of familiar farmland. His farmland. His father stood among them, smiling, younger, unaware of the secrets time would bury. John unfolded the top letter. The ink had faded, but one detail stood out clearly. This must reach Walker. He deserves to know the truth. Rex sniffed the contents intensely, nose lingering on an old patrol patch tucked in the corner of the box. His ears twitched. He whined, pawing lightly at the patch, as if recognizing the scent of someone who once handled it with purpose. John flipped through the papers until one wrinkled map stopped him cold. A red X was marked deep in the far corner of his property, the same area no one had stepped into for decades. His father had never mentioned it. No one had, and now, with Rex nudging his arm, John knew exactly what he had to do next. Map in hand, John stepped out onto the far side of the property, Rex trotting beside him with sharp, alert eyes. The red X marked an area he hadn't visited since childhood, an overgrown stretch where wind-carved rocks created natural shelter. The air felt different here, still and heavy, as if the land itself remembered what had happened long ago. Rex's nose hit the ground immediately, pulling ahead with sudden urgency. They reached the marked spot. Rex barked once, sharp, insistent, then began digging with a force John had never seen. Within minutes, metal clanks echoed beneath the soil. John knelt beside him, brushing away dirt to reveal a fragment of corroded steel. Not farm equipment, not debris. Military-grade plating. A chill tightened John's chest. He dug deeper and uncovered a half-buried, rusted radio unit, the kind used during covert operations in the 1970s. But what shocked him most was the small lockbox welded to its side, sealed shut but intact. Rex pawed at it, whining softly. John recognized the symbol etched on the metal. His father's unit. His father's mission. A mission that was never spoken about. Using the key from the first box, John unlocked the compartment. Inside were classified field reports, stained with age, detailing an incident covered up to protect someone or something. On this land, Rex growled softly. Sensing danger or truth John wasn't ready for, whatever happened here 50 years ago was bigger than he imagined. John carried the newly uncovered field reports back to the workshop, his hands trembling as he spread them across the table. Rex lay beside him, ears lowered, sensing the storm building inside his owner. The pages were fragile, edges curled, ink smudged, but the truth still bled through every line. These weren't routine mission notes. They were confessions, warnings, and then, the final letter to IT was addressed to John's father. John unfolded it slowly. The writing was shaky, rushed, written by the missing teammate. If anyone finds this, tell Walker he did the right thing. The blame wasn't his. I hid the evidence to protect him, and the families involved. John swallowed hard. His father had carried guilt his entire life, believing he'd failed a mission that ruined reputations and cost lives. But the truth had been buried, literally, under a termite mound for half a century. The teammate had hidden the documents after uncovering corruption within their command. He intended to return, but never made it back. Rex nudged John's trembling hand, his warm eyes anchoring him in the moment. This wasn't just forgotten history. It was a man's honor, stolen, buried, left to rot in the ground, and now John had a choice. Keep the secret buried, or restore the legacy his father never knew he still had. John stood beneath the old oak tree at the edge of his property, the documents clutched tightly in his hands. The wind brushed through the grass, as if carrying the voices of the men who once walked this land. Rex sat beside him, calm now, his mission complete. John inhaled deeply before dialing a number he had avoided for years, the last surviving member of his father's unit. When the man answered, silence followed as John explained what Rex had uncovered. On the other end of the line came a shaky breath, then tears. Your father was a hero, son. We all knew it. We just never had the proof. Word spread quickly. Families of the unit gathered at John's farm days later, each holding memories of fathers, brothers, uncles, men who carried secrets heavy enough to break them. John stood before them and opened the rusted box, laying out the letters, the dog tag, the final confession. Gasps rippled through the crowd as decades of doubt finally dissolved that a small memorial plaque was placed where the Termite Mound once stood. John read the teammate's final message aloud, his voice steady but full of emotion. Rex rested his head on John's leg, tail gently thumping. For the first time in 50 years, the truth stood unburied, and a forgotten legacy finally rose back into the light.